Hello and welcome back to EBJR. I'm here with special guest Patrick.
What's going on?
Today we are doing it's Championship Sunday. Let's get right into it. We're doing a preview for it and our picks. I can already tell one of the games who's Pat's picking. If you can't tell already,
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't.
might as well go into that one since they're the first game up too. Eagles versus Packers. So already played in the wild card. Philly won 22-10. I'm just going to go through the whole history of it. Thing is, one thing about the Eagles this postseason, have they forgotten how to throw the ball?
I mean,
yeah, you have Saquon Barkley, but they're just trying to do East Coast football. They're acting like they're on the Jersey Shore right now on the beach, trying to be full out East Coast right here. Like, what are you doing?
you gotta. So the Eagles Packers, you have to. I honestly don't know. Maybe Jalen will coming off the concussion. I don't know. Eagles fans, which we'll go into in a minute. I think there's a difference, but this Eagles team relies heavily on Saquon Barkley, but it works. It gets the job done. We're not in the college football. We're not in the college football. You don't have to win by 2 points.
With your college
To
football.
win the game, and that's all that matters. And you're moving on. That's what I got.
That's what they're doing. Hurts in the wild card had 131 yards, went 13 for 21, 2 touchdowns, 36 rushing yards. Saquon 119 yards, no touchdowns that game. But thing is that doesn't matter because Dallas Goedert scored. Eagles win 22-10. The Packers looked like they just weren't ready. Packers were just chopped down the street. Looks like all their wide receivers. But thing is, another problem for the Eagles. I'm throwing all the problems at the Eagles at you right now.
And I can't wait because I'm about to answer everyone.
Jake Elliott. We were talking about this before we went. I wouldn't trust him if I got $1 million to kick an extra point. I wouldn't know if I'll get that $1 million before. Like, yeah, easy. I don't know anymore. What do you think?
Like last year, dude did not miss. It was crazy if he missed. He might be making Sports Center's top 10 craziest things ever if he missed. He looks like a joke right now. I find myself posting about this guy saying he's a joke at every Eagles game. Because all you have to do is a kicker. And Pat McAfee's been proving, why kicking's hard. But if you can't make a damn extra point, and by the way, I don't know if we're really getting to the Rams game yet. But
we will.
We will. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But the Rams were driving down the field. It's a 6-point game. Elliott misses 2 field goals in that game. You make both, it's a 2-possession game. LA scores there, they're winning the football game. The fact that the dude has been struggling like this is crazy. One of the highest paid kickers ever, and now he's out here pushing these field goals out, or pulling them, or whatever. You gotta find it. It's a must in football, especially in this time of the season. We are in the NFL playoffs, and you have to go hit field goals, because every point is starting to matter.
Yes, you might as well go right into the Rams game after that. 1 for 3 to extra points. We're about to get hate for this from kickers. You needed to make those. Kicking's hard in the snow. I saw you kick a field goal in the snow today. You almost made it, but yours was not an extra point, and you're not a kicker. They should be making these. Like, granted, I would be like, yeah, maybe one was blocked. None were blocked. None were hit. It's just him missing it. Like, come on. I made the comment about Jalen Hurts. How, last game he had 131 passing yards. I'll give him credit. He's consistent. He had 128 versus the Rams when they won 28-22. Thing is, he had 70 rushing yards and a touchdown. Question is, we know Jalen is good on his feet. But will he be this week with the knee? We know he's good to play. But is that knee going to be bothering him?
That's a great question. And I'm not really sure yet, because it feels that this entire week, it started out Nick Sirianni was talking all about how he likes where Jalen's at, and he's also now talking about more of, we'll see here and there. But apparently they're going to continue to treat him the same way. Will he be a bit slower? Will he be more cautious? I don't know, because when we saw him in the 2 playoff games prior, he's starting to finally slide. He's not lowering his helmet and trying to push guys out of the way. He's going down. He's playing smart. He's going to have to. You have to play smart against this Washington team. How they just blew up Detroit. You're going to have to play smart because you cannot be turning the ball over, and especially you cannot have that knee get hurt because I do not trust Tanner McKee or Kenny Pickett at all. I don't care how good they played when Jalen was out. I don't trust them.
Granted, it doesn't matter if you trust either quarterback because Saquon Barkley last game, the Rams defense has been something. But the thing is, Saquon said he does not care. 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the whole offense at this point. They're not passing the ball. They're not doing anything else. They're just giving the ball to Saquon. He literally said, "I got this" to Jalen Hurts because apparently no one else does on the Eagles offense.
It's true. I mean, the dude, you can't tackle the dude. He sees the defense. He goes, "Yo, I got this. Watch this," and he takes it to the house.
The one thing the Rams did wrong in the regular season and the postseason, when Saquon had both big runs, I literally said for his first big run against the Rams, I'm like, he can't keep getting away with this. They run
true.
one safety. You can't do that if you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield.
You can't especially because you're going to see where the safety's going. He's going around. He's going outside. There's nobody deep back there. No one's catching up. The only guy that was starting to catch up was his first touchdown with Jared Verse, but Saquon's turning around looking behind him. You can't stop them. The Rams need to. Well, it's obviously game's over now, but the teams need to start to figure out how to stop this dude. Because if you let him continue to do this, we saw him against Washington a few weeks ago. He looked amazing. Had all these great runs, and then they finally started containing him when Jalen came out. But still, they're gonna have to stop this guy. He's the entire offense right now. Nobody else is really stepping up. You stop Saquon, you're gonna be in a great position. But until you do that, there's problems.
One thing about the Eagles this year, and for a while, their O-line has been fantastic. Not last game, though. Allowed 7 sacks. Grant, Seahawks fan here, hate the Rams. That Rams D-line, though, oh my God. They're young and they are talented. Jared Verse, I know you might hate him right now, but
I don't like him.
But he's a beast. He's winning a defensive rookie of the year without a doubt. I will bet you $5 on that.
Behind Cooper DeJean, obviously, right?
Braden Fisk, he's been a monster. I don't know why I've been an advocate for him. He's a Rams guy. I don't know why. But the O-line is supposed to be like that. Jordan Mailata is supposed to be an elite guy. Landon Dickerson, Mekhi Becton. We saw Mekhi Becton on the Saquon touchdown have a great block. And then the next drive after gets thrown by Jared Verse. What's up with that right now?
This O-line, I think it's actually has a lot to do with Kelsey also retiring, because when you have him at center, centers are a huge piece in football.
Thank you, I appreciate that. No one actually says that.
Of course. They're a huge piece of the NFL, because also, we have Cam Jurgens' injury going on. He was behind. The offensive line gets put around that center, and if something is off, it feels the entire thing is off. And I think this Eagles O-line has actually been off quite a bit this year. I think there are too many false starts. I think they're giving all out on one play, then the next play they're kind of taking off on the play, and then it doesn't feel in sync every play.
So before we get into the preview for the Commanders, gotta ask you this: how many times do you think Philly is gonna run brotherly shove on Sunday? I'm going 0. Gotta keep Hurts healthy.
That's a great question. It was actually real quick.
I don't think they ran against the Rams.
I don't think I think they made it on it once, if that. I think they're gonna have to try to limit it, but if it's 4th and 1, it's 4th and 1. So I'm gonna say 2 or 3 times. Something small, nothing crazy.
So quick look at the Commanders. Wild card round, won 23-20. Really don't have to go into deep detail with that. The only detail we got, the Jayden Daniels show. 268 yards throwing, with 2 touchdowns and 36 yards rushing. But the thing is, with that 36 yards, he was the leading rusher for the team that day. 36. But granted, when you have a quarterback who's healthy, both knees are healthy to run the ball, he can get the first down to get the field goal. So that works, I guess.
It is the craziest thing about this team, which is why I'm also really scared. I think it'll be really interesting this Sunday. I did not see Washington making the past first round. I'll just be honest. I didn't see him doing it. I thought there was enough playoff experience. I thought Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie. He was going to have some trouble in the postseason. But I'm completely wrong. What do I know, apparently? Because this dude's been balling out. I mean, nobody is stopping the man. Tampa Bay is coming into this playoff pretty hot and just gets. I know they only lost by 3 or whatever, but it felt that Washington was in control almost the entire game. It did, and it's crazy. It blows my mind.
Speaking of controlling the entire game, let's go right into the Lions game where they were supposed to get crushed. The line was -7 Detroit. They were underdogs and they go in there win 45-31. Again, Jaden Daniels, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, the running game involved. Terry McLaurin, 87 yards, a touchdown. De'Ami Brown, 98 yards. Everyone got involved in this game. Everyone did their job, and they put the number 1 Lions away.
It still blows my mind. It's Friday here. The game happened on Saturday, and it still blows my mind how they dominated that game. They just sent the Lions home that fast. It was at Ford Field. There was no excuse for Detroit to lose at all. The only thing you could say was their defense, because obviously they were banged up. But it does not take away the fact that Washington came in there and blew you out.
Yeah, you say the defense. Offense fully healthy. You had David Montgomery back. You had both running backs in the backfield. Thing is, we saw Jeff Fisher, Jared Goff back there have 3 interceptions, and the team had 5 turnovers. Like, you can't be doing that. You're supposed to have high expectations. Thing is, will they have the same results next week? They allowed 521 yards total. That's not good. So let's just go right into the game next week for Philly Commanders. They already played twice this season. They split. Commanders won at home. Philly won at home. Leading in favor of Philly right there. The thing is, the Commanders have the best quarterback in the postseason right now. And it's weird to say because he's a rookie. He's the best guy performing right now, doing better than Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Clearly, let's just go. Jaden Daniels, he's been the best rookie quarterback I saw today since 2012. Russell Wilson, who lost in the divisional round to the Falcons. You probably don't know, but he was actually good that year. But it's just insane to see what he's doing out there. Could Philly contain him? They didn't do it last time. Will they contain him on Sunday?
I'm still wondering that question too, because it felt like when they played that Thursday night game back in Philadelphia, Philly did a great job containing him. They contained the entire offense. And I know they only won by 8, but that Zachers had a late touchdown. It was a 16-point game for a good amount at the end there. And then you go to Washington, and it felt something was missing. Was it, CJ leaving the game? Was it something to do with Jalen being out? I don't know. But I don't know how to feel because you have Jaden Daniels, who has won 2 great playoff games, going into Philly on a hot note, in a hostile environment where he can use that as motivation almost and try to win this game. And Philly, how are they going to contain him? I'm not sure. He has a great arm. He can scramble very well. He can read defense very well. He's a great player.
Yeah, so with all that in mind, time to make the picks. Let's just go right to you because I think yours is just obvious. I got to think a little bit about it.
Who should I pick? I'm going to have to go with the Birds. Who would have thought that was coming?
I'm also going with the Eagles, but would I be shocked if the Commanders win? Not at all. So now let's go right ahead into the AFC. Started out with the wild card, because the Chiefs did not play in the wild card. They had to bye. Bills, Denver. Denver started out, got the Bills on the 3 and out, and then to score a touchdown. Is Denver got to upset the Bills? We know the Bills aren't the best in the playoffs. Yeah, they made a conference championship once. They lost the divisional round every other time with Josh Allen. The thing is, Josh Allen said, screw that. He's going to go and score 31 consecutive. And then he has 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. And James Cook, 120 yards and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel, where has he been the last few years? 68 yards and a touchdown. They said, Bo Nix, just sit in that baby chair over there. I'll just take over from here. That was just something else right there.
Oh, yeah. It blows my mind how this Bills team operates. Because you look at, like, what weapons does Josh Allen have?
Not anymore.
James Cook he's all right. Their tight ends, Knox and Kincaid, all right. They don't have this, like, great player. Like Philly with Saquon. Or Detroit with Amon-Ra Gibbs. Or Washington, I guess, with Terry McLaurin right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all these teams have all these great players. But Buffalo, what Josh Allen can do with just himself and some average wide receivers.
And Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Diggs and they traded him. For what?
They got nothing.
Exactly. But the thing is, Bills last week proved something. 27-25 against the Ravens, where I think Baltimore was favored in that game, right?
They were, I believe, a 1-point favorite, yeah.
Yeah. Josh Allen pulled Jalen Hurts had 127 yards. James Cook, 6-7 yards.
Put that out there. All right, continue.
James Cook had 6-7 yards. And Khalil Shakir had 67 yards. So again, all different guys. The defense won them that game in Mark Andrews' hands, but defense had 3 turnovers, including a Mark Andrews fumble. So every Buffalo fan who made the donation to Mark Andrews probably did a right job, because that's why you're sitting in the conference championship right now.
Oh yeah, that's why. It actually blows my mind what Mark Andrews has done this year, because we saw him off the year. A lot of people took him in fantasy football, and he did nothing. Like that week 1 game, I'm pretty sure he had 0 points, or it was some very small number.
I think the first 3 weeks he had 0 points.
Yeah, it was we were wondering where he was at. Finally, he starts showing up. He's arguably the best red zone tight end in the league, and then last week can't catch a football. Late in the game.
Can't hold on to a football. He also had a fumble.
Yeah, can't hold on to a football.
So let's go to the other divisional round game. Their first playoff game. Kansas City versus Houston. Patrick Mahomes won the game 23-14. Really should have been 23-12, but Matt Ariza had the safety, which was smart. Kill the clock, give them the ball. 9-point game, can't win.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes 177 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt 44 yards and a touchdown. Never thought. Weird to see him back on KC. I always thought he would deserve one on KC. And then the incident happened. But now he's back, so he's all good.
Yeah.
And then Travis Kelce, 7 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Because why not? Why not for Travis Kelce? But the defense won them that game, having 8 sacks. That's huge. CJ Stroud dominated against Mahomes in the passing game. Stroud had about 245 yards. He was a better passer out there, but the defense won Mahomes that game right there.
Yeah, because also the thing is too, and I think we're gonna see this in the wild card where Houston. Let's be honest, most people picked the Chargers to beat the Texans.
Oh yeah,
most people did. I think we kind of thought that was gonna happen in the wild card. Houston was able to get that upset, and then they kind of go to Kansas City, where you get to play arguably the best team since 2019-ish. I would say by far. The 3 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are a team that knows how to win games. And even though their offense didn't show up, I mean, Kelce had the touchdown, they showed Taylor Swift, all that. But it's the defense has been the story this year. We always think it's Patrick Mahomes. He's a winner, but he's not having these stats this year. Like you mentioned, you read off the stats there. Those aren't great stats.
Mm-mm.
And the fact that Kansas City was still able to come out here and beat a hot Texans team who got that huge upset in the wild card round, it blows my mind what Kansas City does.
The fact that you brought up Taylor Swift and didn't bring up the girl sitting next to her because you are a huge WNBA fan.
Great player.
But yeah, Kansas City.
Xbox.
Look, let's just go right into the preview of Bills KC. We all know it's going to be a good game. People are calling, which I agree, the new generation, Manning, Brady, which 100%. The thing is, this is what I tell everyone when people ask me about this game. Who has stopped Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? 2 people. Joe Burrow and in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady. Only 2 guys to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs / Super Bowl. When you have a coach like Andy Reid, when you have Patrick Mahomes, when you have Travis Kelce who finally woke up from an 18-week coma to finally come and play the games, what can you do? Like, what can you? The defense actually looked good. The defense has been a problem for the Chiefs the last few years. Like, they haven't been getting the pressure. How can the Bills win this game?
And I've always asked, because they beat them. They beat Kansas City this year. They beat them in the regular season every year. It doesn't mean anything, because when postseason football comes around, it means way more. You do way more in depth, way more research, and when I think Kansas City fully knows what's going on, they're unstoppable. How does Buffalo win? You're gonna have to have Josh Allen do his magic again and find find touchdowns. You got to extend the plays. You cannot be taking sacks, and you're gonna have to find ways to just stop Mahomes. It sounds like that's not a lot, but that's a lot. It's a lot to ask for.
So with that, Pat, who are you picking?
As much as I want to take Buffalo, like I want to take Buffalo so bad, I can't. I gotta take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl.
All right, Chris Collinsworth Jr. You know what? I'm gonna go with KC too. Again, guys, it's hard to beat Mahomes and Reid in the playoffs. So with that, we're excited to see what happened on Sunday. I see both games being a shootout. Well, KC, Buffalo, 100%.
Oh, that.
Philly Commanders being close. Both games will be entertaining to watch. You're going to be at Philly Commanders.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hopefully the Commanders win. I don't care if I'm wrong on this pick.
What's that?
But with that, thank you for watching. Peace.